If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to our channel, and every time I upload a new video, I will always send you a link. I'm here to train you scientifically, and I'm here to give you facts as they are, and I'm here to tell you what another person will not tell you. Instead, will tell you for a fee, but I'll give it to you for free, so that I can empower you and you can empower me somewhere else. Before you also go so much far into the business or thinking about starting the business, I advise you should have at least some way of countering the risk. For example, if you think of starting a broiler farm, I want you to understand that when you slaughter a bird, you can never give it back life. No, you can never. When a bird hits 6 weeks and it eats food into 6 weeks and 1 day, that extra day is a loss, or rather it's reducing. When you supply your eggs to the market and then you are not paid, or you have a delay in paying, that means you are eating into your profit. Therefore, it is very important that as you think of starting a farm, have an end strategy that you can close this risk of not having a market. How? Think about getting a stall in a market somewhere. If you don't get a stall in the market, then you can think about partnering with somebody in the market, or rather signing a contract with somebody. Don't go for verbal contract. And when you start producing, you are quite sure that you have a market. For example, you can build a small shop in the center, put a refrigerator or a freezer, so that if you slaughter your birds and you have excess, you can store them in the freezer and then you can sell them out. If you have excess eggs as well and you have a shop, you can store your eggs in the shop and then you can dispose them to the market. I'm so happy to meet you again, and today I take you through step-by-step methods or means how you can start a farm. If you add this to the tips that I gave you before, the 10 tips of starting a farm, share the link below, then you will be so much well off to start a farm. Cheers.
I gave you tips on how to start a poultry farm, but here today I want to guide you on how to start a poultry farm. Told you about having enough capital, but before you think of starting any poultry farm, this is my advice for free. First, you need to have a market. Instead, understand the market. Know the level of demand so that you can know what amount of birds to keep. You might be so much carried with good videos, trendy videos we have on YouTube and other platforms, and good pictures, and then you want to start a farm, but then you jump into starting a farm and you do not have a market. Where are you going to sell these eggs, and to whom are you going to sell these products? The whole aspect of a market guides us and helps us to understand as a starter how many birds you are going to keep. Take that to the bank. For example, if you want to start a farm, you need to know how many birds you have to start with. It is the number of birds that will lead you to know the size of a structure and even the level of investment. So if you know that the market has a demand for, let's say, 1,000 eggs per day, let me say 10,000 eggs per day, then just target by starting small and growing big. You can say you're going to supply only 5% for a start to that market, which is around 500 eggs. So then it means that you will start by keeping 500 birds for a start. You won't be challenged to supply 500 eggs for a start. So in a nutshell, I'm trying to say that you need to start by knowing and understanding market forces and knowing how much you can supply, how much the demand is and how much you can supply to that market. Don't just wake up one morning and say, I want to start by keeping 1,000 birds to compete somebody who maybe might have signed a contract to supply in a continuous market. He is covered by that insurance whereby he can supply any amount. They're not specific. He or she will get paid. Now, when you understand the market, number two, it is very, very important. Just build a simple structure. You don't need to build a very complicated structure or a very big and modern structure like this one, for example. You can start small by building, let's say, an iron sheet structure. In my previous video and in the link below, I share with you a simple way of building an iron sheet structure, which will cost you around up to $2,000. Build a structure that can be up to 1,000 or 2,000 birds. So when you have a simple structure and you have understood the market, then this one leads you into the next point, whereby you then need to know, where will I source my feeds? Will I buy feeds that are ready, or will I make my own feeds? If you have to make your own feeds, then you have to equip yourself with the knowledge of the feed formulation, or you need to get the experts who can guide you in formulation. Now that you have the knowledge in feed formulation, then you need to know what are the ingredients. Where can I source the ingredients? Then you come down and do the arithmetic, the mathematics of making that feed. Or is it economical to make my own feed, or is it economical to buy feeds from the agrovets? So now that you have a market, you have simple structure, you have feeds, then what next? You cannot start a farm without having water. Very many people will think of starting a farm. They'll do everything, feed, chicks, source everything, the equipment, but they will always forget water. Chicken drink clean, biotic-free water. Water that you can drink is the same water that chicken can drink. Do not expect to give chicken water that you cannot drink. You have to understand that this is a bird or this is an animal. Bacterial diseases or viral diseases, any form of disease that will affect or transmitted through water to a human being will be transmitted to a bird. So then you need to think about either sinking a borehole, if not sinking a borehole, harvesting water, or you can do arithmetic. Buying water is cheaper compared to having your own borehole. So in a nutshell, I'm trying to say that you should have consistent supply of clean water to the birds. Before you go far, you have a market, you have a simple structure, you have water, you have feeds. Then this pushes you to the fifth point. It is quite in order or important for you as a starter to understand the equipment you are going to use. You have to know that everybody goes to buy equipment and project. The quality of equipment is quite important because this is the equipment that you're going to start with and grow into now an experienced farmer, because as you start the project and you keep supplying your meat and eggs to the farm, the market, you get introduced to the market, demand goes high if all goes well, alright? So you need to have equipment that can take you through 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. When you are new and you go to buy the equipment and you find that sellers tend to take advantage of you. Either they will sell to you equipment at very exaggerated prices, or they will sell to you equipment that is of very low quality. So it is very important that you try your best and find very, very quality equipment that can push you through. Lastly, as a starter, when you're starting a farm, it is different to start a farm in the urban setup or to start a farm in the rural area. I'll advise you to think of setting a farm near the urban centers or in the urban centers. We call it urban agribusiness. This is because we have a ready market. If you look at the labor and factor in the cost of transporting the produce to the market, so then you cannot just wake up in the morning and build a poultry farm in the urban setup. You need to acquire the required legal documents. Before you think of starting a farm, think about acquiring the legal documentations or the permits that will necessitate you to start a farm.